NFL free agency begins tomorrow, so my final Raiders free agent target video before this thing gets crazy. We're looking at quarterbacks, tight ends, and the fullback position coming up today here on the Raiders Report. My name is Mitchell Renz, and I wanted to be able to put the quarterback, tight end, and fullback position all together because I have covered every single other position that the silver and black should look at. And the World Baseball Classic is here, so I decided to give you guys a little now on the deck and in the hole. Let's first talk about that quarterback position. It is expected that Fernando Mendoza will be the number one overall pick, and with Kenny Pickett getting ready to hit the open market, only Aiden O'Connell is the quarterback right now on this Raiders roster. If I was Klint Kubiak and John Spytek and they were to ask my opinion on how I would handle the quarterback position in free agency, personally, I would look for a quarterback 3. I believe in AOC. I believe in Mendoza. So I would look for an older player, maybe a little bit of a mentor, somebody that's been in the Kubiak system before. Sign him to a cheap deal because I don't want to spend too much money at the quarterback position because that takes money away from us being able to allocate it to the other major needs that we have. The first name I'm going to bring up here is going to be Case Keenum. He's getting up there in age. I hear you loud and clear. But he played underneath Klint Kubiak in 2018 where he threw for a career-high amount of passing yards. If you had Keenum as your QB3, you allow him to really be a big-time mentor to Mendoza. That adds an extra little bit of competition to Aiden O'Connell. I think that makes a lot of sense. I am going to throw in another name. Not really like I want the Raiders to go out and get Brett Rypien, but if you're looking for a practice squad level type of quarterback, you could get him. 29 years old, played last season with the Minnesota Vikings. The 2022 numbers, though, are the numbers that he ended up putting up when he was working underneath Kubiak back in 2022 with the Denver Broncos. So now we got to talk about the starters because Kubiak at the Combine did kind of mention that maybe Mendoza could end up sitting for a year. And if the silver and black are serious about Mendoza sitting back for 1 year, to me, there are 3 quarterback options that you have to consider. The first name I'm going to bring up, Kyler Murray. The only reason why I want Murray on this list is because he's going to make $1.2 million. You could get Kyler Murray at $1.2 million. I brought it up a few years ago with Russell Wilson, and because we have the amount of holes that we do, I do believe that Kyler Murray should at least be in that conversation. Another name I'm going to bring up here is going to be Kirk Cousins. Cousins, when he worked with Kubiak from 2019 to 2021 in Minnesota, 3 straight years over 100 overall passer rating. He's got the connection. Now, what makes me a little bit nervous about Cousins is I don't really think he wants to work with a young rookie quarterback, so that might give you a little bit of a pause. Another name I'm going to throw out here is going to be Aaron Rodgers, and he's still yet to make a decision whether or not he wants to return to football. But at 42, he can, I think, still fit in this Kubiak offense and has been willing to work with some younger guys in the past. Some people might be surprised that Malik Willis isn't on here. Malik Willis is going to get $30 million per year. I don't think that makes any sense for the Las Vegas Raiders. Let's also go, though, to some mentors/starters, guys that I don't really think you should be starting in the year of 2026, but also I do think could be an interesting mentor overall for Fernando Mendoza. The first name I'm going to bring up is technically a name that you would have to trade for, but I'm just going to throw him here into the mix. It's going to be Derek Carr. Derek Carr has made it known that he has interest in playing football this upcoming season. And he's got ties to Klint Kubiak. Look at that 2024 season. Kubiak was the OC for New Orleans, and Carr was humming, and that offense was humming before the injuries ended up popping up there. Another name that I'll throw out, Joe Flacco. And Flacco's obviously getting older. There's also been some people that have compared Mendoza to Joe. Do I really want Joe Flacco leading the way for the Raiders in 2026? No, not really. But do I think Flacco could be an interesting mentor for Mendoza? Yeah, why the hell not? So you guys let me know down below. If the Raiders do decide to sign a quarterback in NFL free agency, who do you think it should be? Should it be a starting caliber QB like a Kirk Cousins? Should it be somebody on the little lower end like a Joe Flacco? Or Do you want to go the quarterback 3 route with Case Keenum or a Brett Rypien? My answer is going to be coming up here after this YouTube ad break. I will say it's Case Keenum, and I will continuously say I would want Keenum at quarterback as a quarterback 3. 11 years of NFL experience. Cheap backup. I want to use my money in other areas. I don't want to spend a lot of money at the quarterback position because, again, I believe in Fernando Mendoza, and if you really, truly need a starter for 1 year, play Aiden O'Connell. Super cheap contract. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a cheaper Jared Goff, and I don't want to just see what we did last year with AOC. Last year's offense was a disaster. Other reasons, Keenum worked underneath Ben Johnson this past season. That was Tom Brady's number 1 head coach candidate from a season ago. He's got ties with Gary. He's got ties with Clint. He's got ties with Houston, which is all the reasons why I believe the perfect quarterback for the Raiders this offseason, if you're going to sign one, is Case Keenum, quarterback 3. The way that you look at the tight end group, same exact way I'm going to look at the quarterback group. So I believe Mendoza can start right away. And I know that there's some people out there wondering, could Mendoza sit back? I think the reason why you're hearing the Raiders talk the way that they're doing is because at this current moment, if the season started today, March 8th, I wouldn't put Fernando Mendoza out there on the field with the roster that we have. Cool part, did you see how much money we have? Number 1 money in salary cap. We have the amount of money to be able to address all of our needs in free agency. If the Raiders aren't confident in Fernando Mendoza starting week 1, I think we failed as an organization this offseason to surround him with the right pieces to put him in a position to succeed ASAP Rocky. Now, I don't know if y'all know this, but I will be live tomorrow for NFL free agency starting at 11 a.m. Eastern time, 1 hour before the legal tampering period. I'm going to be live probably 20, 30 hours, something close to that this week. The other thing that I want y'all to know, though, is I have made free agent target videos for the Raiders at every single position. Do you want to know the top 10 running backs that the Raiders should target? Bingo, bango. It's right there. You want to know the top corners, the top safeties that the Raiders should target? Wow, would you look at that? What about the top wide receivers out there on the market for the silver and black? Holy shit, I did a video on that one too. Do you want the Raiders to address the offensive line? But imagine that answer is yes. Top 10 offensive lineman targets for the Raiders. What about we're running the 3-4 defense and Rob Leonard? We're going to look at edges, and let's look at some other linebackers. Wow, holy crap, we did that. And I knew Max Crosby was going to get traded. So if you haven't seen my Max Crosby replacements video, we look at the top defensive ends, top defensive tackles. The bottom line is this. If you are a Raiders fan and you want to know who we should target and you want a more in-depth look at all of those players, go on YouTube. Type in Raiders free agent targets at whatever position you want to watch. Put Raiders report on the back of your search. You're going to get in-depth analysis on all the top players I want the Raiders to target. So the quarterback position, check. Let's now move to the tight end group, and then next up will be the fullback position. I'm not going to go as in-depth on tight end and fullback simply because we got Brock Bowers. You got Michael Mayer. How do we find that tight end number 3 option? Ian Thomas is going to be a free agent. Albert O does have ties with Klint Kubiak from their time in Denver, so I think that that's an interesting option. And also, if I'm being 100% transparent, if it was up to me, I would actually probably just draft a tight end 3 fullback hybrid because that way you can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. But if I am trying to look at the tight end position in NFL free agency, I'm going to give you 5 names. And the 5 names are not going to be anything big, nothing splashy. I don't need a lot of money invested in my 3rd tight end position, though I do anticipate Klint Kubiak and this offense to go out there and run a lot of 13 personnel and a lot of 3 tight end sets. Here are the 5 tight ends that I would want the Raiders to look at. Again, these are tight end 3s. Many of these guys are probably better blockers outside of Foster Moreau. But the reason why I also think Foster Moreau should be an option here is because he had his best season as a pro in 2024 with Klint Kubiak as that OC. Again, Mo Alley Cox, big red zone option. Austin Hooper, former Raider, can block and catch the football. Troutman, Dulcich, those guys are a little bit more of blockers. I don't need to spend a lot of money if the Las Vegas Raiders do want to look at a tight end here in NFL free agency. I'll get to the fullback position in just a moment, but to make sure that your end is looking tight in the year 2025, Get started with our sponsor here, Panda Sups. Use code Kubiak, Kubiak, for 26% off at pandasups.com. I just put in a gigantic order. I got 3 new proteins. I got some of the greens. I don't know what else he's going to throw in, and you guys will probably be seeing a lot of the stuff that I'm going to be getting here from Panda Sups. But I have a wedding in like 2 months from now, and it's going to be in Cancun. And I'm trying to get in better shape. This is the type of the offseason where I'm not going to lie to you, like it's tough for me, especially during NFL free agency. It does get a little bit more difficult. We're eating a lot. We're having some drinks. We're getting after it. But I also need to make sure that I'm at my best version of myself. You're going to see me taking a lot of BCAAs. I'm going to be taking some nootropics to really wake up my mind. But the protein is my favorite thing from Panda. 30 grams of protein per scoop. The flavors are almost too good to be true. I know the ones that I recently just got. I got s'mores. I think it was the biscotti one. And then I also ended up getting, I believe it was the peanut butter. Bottom line, dude, I can't flip and wait. If you love mint chocolate chip, maybe one of my favorites during the summertime is the mint chocolate chip one. I love Panda Sups. I think y'all are going to love Panda Sups, and that link's going to be available y'all down in the comments and in the description of today's show. Let's now go quarterback done, tight end done. Let's now look at the fullback position. And again, I want to be very clear. I personally would look at drafting a tight end fullback hybrid, 2 birds, 1 stone. But there is a certain fullback out there that I think Raider Nation would be really, really fired up to be able to go out and get. Some of you might go, well, Mitch, why are we looking at the fullback position? Here's why. Klint Kubiak said at the NFL Combine, it is important. You have to find the right guy, and if you can find that guy, then he becomes a big part of your offense. So Kubiak was talking about adding a fullback, and the 5 names I'm going to throw out there, Patrick Ricard, Reggie Gilman, Michael Burton, Andrew Beck. The number 1 name, and it's not close, Alec Ingold. Alec Ingold was an undrafted free agent for the Raiders his first year in the NFL. There was a part of me that wonders, could he just follow Mike McDaniel to the Chargers, which I really hope that he doesn't. But to me, I would love Alec Ingold, or you go out and you draft Riley Nowakowski, a Max Bredesen, 2 guys that the Silver and Black did end up meeting with at the NFL Combine. Because what I need out of that fullback position, I need a leader on and off the field. I need somebody that can pass protect. I need somebody that can run block. And I need somebody that can catch the football from time to time, because I believe that fullback is going to be used in a very Kyle Juszczyk type of role. If you're a big-time Raiders Report fan and you want to get either a Raiders Report hat or Raiders Report t-shirt, the shirt, $24.99. The hat, $24.99. If you add both the hat and the shirt to your cart, you're going to be able to save $10 off at chatsports.com/RR shop. Don't worry, that link that you see down below is also going to be down in the comments and in the description. But if you need a hoodie, or if you need any type of Raiders Report gear that I have, you're going to be able to find all of it at that link down below. If you want to get the same shirt Fernando Mendoza has, I got it for you taken care of. So we talked about quarterbacks. We talked about tight ends. We talked about fullback targets, which is essentially me putting a bow on all of the Raiders free agency target videos that I have done so far this offseason. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Twitter at Mitchell Renz 365. And make sure you're ready for a very, very eventful day live on the Raiders Report starting at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. on the West Coast. Wake up, get a cup of coffee. I can't wait. And I mean, I can't wait for NFL free agency.